And welcome back to episode 47 of the Hit the Showers podcast, presented to you by the Foolproof Entertainment Network. As always, I am your host, Clifford Jordan Jennings, here with my point man and co-host, Malcolm Ball Boy King. He got Black Mamba. You ain't no goddamn
Black Mamba, boy.
You ain't even related to the motherfucking. You ain't a fucking black garden snake.
Hey, Kobe reincarnated through me. How about that?
Listen, Kobe would be Kobe kill himself if he found out he had your jump shot and dribble.
You ain't right. You ain't right. You ain't right for that.
I'm just being honest. Don't disrespect Kobe like that.
What's going on, Cliff?
Shit, cooling, man. It's been a busy week. Not so much in sports. I mean, you know, as it goes, as the games go on, it dies down. But yeah, in life in general, it's just been
sprint.
Ooh, shit. Been a lot of shit.
We're going to start calling that a Sha'Carri Richardson on weeks like this.
Listen, man, and I definitely got disqualified is all I'm saying. Shit.
You got the race, too.
You hear what I'm saying, man? They trying to get a nigga. I'm just hoping to make the relays.
Right. At this point, shit.
We here to talk basketball, of course, to my shower heads out there. And the first thing I will say is, Malk, you was the closest one with last week's predictions as far as the Suns Clippers go. Of course, the actual score was 130-103. Clippers got smacked, and the game was just awful to watch. Just awful to watch. And you did predict it. You predicted 121-109. It's not quite, but it's definitely the closest out of the bunch. The only other person that predicted correctly was Don.
Aaron. Don.
Don. Aaron said Clippers that game, and then he also said Hawks in the one game. So in the group chat, I'm wondering what he said, and I was also right, by the way. I was trying to figure out what he was saying because I know I didn't write it down incorrectly. Because he said that he thought Cam Reddish was going to have a 30-point game.
Right. I remember him saying that. Yeah, I remember him saying that.
And the only way that would make sense is if I wrote it down incorrectly and he said Cam Reddish has a 30-point game, but the Bucks still win. But I don't believe that's what he said. But who knows? I do be buzzed. So that could have been the case. But shocking in that game, Chris Paul's numbers.
Yeah, shock. And listen, he don't shock me no more. I try to tell y'all.
Listen, I knew he had it in him. I knew he had it in him. I just didn't expect to see him that aggressive. And that what was respectable about watching that performance was that was a veteran taking control of the game and saying, I'm not going home.
Right. Come on now. We don't know how much time he got left, man. Listen, it's now or never. It's now or never. Now or never.
I mean, you got to respect that. 41, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals. He was balling out there. I mean, you just got to respect that performance. Devin Booker was struggling a bit in that game. He only had 22. All of us, I think, predicted at least 30 points out of him.
Yeah.
And he didn't even make that. But, I mean, it was just ugly to watch. Did you watch that game?
The last
game
night?
6? Nah, not the finals. Okay. Game 6, Clippers Suns.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. It was a struggle. I watched like the first half, I believe, and I just was not impressed. I just was like,
I mean, it looked like the Clippers didn't want to be there.
Sorry. Right. They just going out sorry. Kawhi's on the sidelines. He's clapping or whatever. He's being Kawhi or something. But yeah, they didn't look like they was ready to play.
Listen.
Now that's when I told you Patrick Beverly. We talked about Patrick Beverly. That's when he pushed Chris Paul from behind. That was the game, right?
Was that
when
that game? Yep, that was that game.
He was frustrated. He knew they was going to go home. I just, like you said, I just thought nobody came to play on the Clippers. You know, they just laid down.
You're right. There was no defense at all. Motherfuckers was just watching people take open shots. Nobody was switching. It was just like they didn't want to be there for some reason. Like, I don't know what happened, but a switch just turned off. And the motherfuckers laid down and got dirt thrown on them.
He ain't playoff. I mean, he played good up until they got eliminated. But it goes. So I kind of thought about what you said when you were like, well, maybe he can't play with somebody else. It's a superstar. Maybe he needs to run his own team. You had a chance to briefly, run your own team and try to get him over the hump, and you could. I mean, bro, you just.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. There's no excuses. They just didn't.
You didn't get the job done, bro.
Man.
You got further than you usually do. So, like, I'll give you a little bit of credit there, like, you know, getting a little bit further than normal. But at the end of the day.
Well, I don't know. Can you give them that credit, though? Because I don't think that they got to where they were off the back of Paul George. It was more like the back of Kawhi Leonard, and then Paul George just stepped it up while you were out.
But I feel like we heard a lot about Paul George consistently in the playoffs, more than Kawhi, because of Kawhi's injuries. And
no, there was definitely more, consistent play, and he was putting up decent numbers when Kawhi was playing, but they weren't impressive. Like, and then when Kawhi gets hurt, he goes out there and he starts impressing motherfuckers. But I don't know that they would have got there without Kawhi.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, that's, one of the unknowns that we'll never know, because obviously Kawhi did play for the most part. But, I mean, when it was your chance to shine and pull the team through, bro, you ain't none of y'all got it done.
That he definitely fell short on.
Yeah.
Definitely fell short on that. So, what do we say about the Hawks then?
So I don't want to be biased, but everybody that listens or watches knows by now that Trae Young is my dude. So I wanted him to make it to the finals. I didn't think they were going to win the finals by any means, if I'm being honest. But with it being his junior year, right? This is his third year.
Yeah.
His junior year in a sense. I mean, he has a very bright future, as we all know. And I like what he said after the game. He made a post on Instagram. He said, "We'll be back." And I believe that. I do believe, especially if they get more pieces. I was very impressed by Trae Young throughout he.
Well, see, here's what's interesting to me about that situation. And I was thinking about it. I think that may have, even though they shocked the world, doing what they did and going as far as they went, I think that may have been one of the worst things that could happen to them.
Set the bar too high?
Not even set the bar too high. My line of thinking behind that is that you don't have all the pieces that you need right now.
Right.
You made too far of a run to think you're going to get anything in the draft, and your market isn't big enough for other players knocking at your door. You know what I mean? And
or is it now?
I mean, that's the question, but at the same time, you got to think about this. You got a young guy that's already running that squad. You know what I mean? That's already Trae Young's squad.
Right.
So the only way that works is if you get somebody that has Chris Paul kind of respect and veteran leadership to be able to say, bruh, still your squad, but let me tweak it a bit for you.
Right.
And I don't see anybody out there like that would be able to come in and assist, or that would be interested in coming in and assisting that situation. So you got to think, what else are you going to get if you don't get a good trade from somewhere?
I don't know and that's something I should have did homework on too, the upcoming like free agents and stuff like that, who's going to be on the market.
Oh, there's a lot of free agents. Like Kawhi's a free agent, Doncic's it's a hella free agents out there, but the question once again comes down to who would pick Atlanta as a market.
Well, I mean, we all know this. I mean, Atlanta's popping as it is. I mean, you got music. You got
on a microcosm though. You know what I mean? And when it comes to a black microcosm, like to be honest, like that's what Atlanta's popping for. So me thinking realistically, the only way you're gonna get a name that big is if they also have business outside of basketball in that area, and they want to be closer to their business. Outside of that, Atlanta's not big enough of a draw for me as a Dame Lillard or somebody like that to be like, yeah, I come to Atlanta. Nah, I don't see that happening.
I can see a Bradley Beal type. Mm-hmm.
I can see a Bradley Beal type. Westbrook, you wouldn't want there.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Bradley Beal. I'm saying over Westbrook as far as like I'd rather go play with Trae Young and them. I see the potential what they're doing, what we could do, how that may gel compared to.
I can see a Bradley Beal doing that because it would be a what do they call it at the job at your workplace when you're not making any a lateral move.
Right.
It would be a lateral move for Bradley Beal because you're already in a small market that is DC and you're moving to Atlanta. So there's a lot more perks that come with Atlanta over DC, but the markets are still similar.
Right. So I could see that. I don't know what Bradley Beal's contract situation is looking like. I believe he's up for his contract in the near future. I believe. I could be wrong.
Let's look that up. That's a good question.
But I think that'd be a good fit
for a while. Has he gotten a new contract? I don't remember him getting a new contract recently.
No, I don't either. I don't remember it either. And I just feel like him and like a tandem, basically what I'm saying is
I can see that. I can see Trae Young and Bradley Beal because Bradley Beal doesn't have a problem playing the sideline in number 2.
He could ball. I mean,
right. And Trae, we know he can go off the shot. I can go off the dribble. He can do whatever. He can drive. Right. I could see him fitting more with the Trae than a Russell.
Their game, their styles.
Yeah, I could see them definitely fitting together better than Russell and Bradley Beal. Right. But at the same time, we talked about it in Bradley Beal's finals, or not finals, but playoff appearance. He puts up too many shots.
Well, you don't have to when you play with a Trae Young. You know what I mean?
Too many shots.
Trae Young?
Both of them put up
well, then
too
you
many
split that.
shots.
Well, then you split that in half now. You know what I mean?
So when I see somebody that puts up that many shots, and like I said, a good game for Trae Young as of recently is like a 16 for 32. You know what I mean?
Right,
like he'll go 50% shooting 30 shots. You can't do that when you have a Bradley Beal on your team. So that means that you don't make all of those shots. You don't now reach 16. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Unless you came out the gate hot, that just means it's Bradley Beal's game. It's not Trae Young's game. Because you're not going to be able to keep shooting and shooting and shooting until you start hitting when you have a Bradley Beal on your squad. And vice versa for Bradley Beal, because we all know Bradley Beal doesn't always come out the gates hot either. He has to keep shooting and shooting and shooting until he catches his rhythm.
Right, get warmed up.
Basically, now you know who the best player would be to put there, and I always bring his name up because I feel like he fits anywhere. Jimmy fucking Buckets. Jimmy Buckets does not need to shoot over and over and over and over again to get his shot. Jimmy shots usually consistent throughout the game. Jimmy knows the shots to take.
And you're saying for Jimmy to play with who?
With Trae.
See, I think
that would be a better fit than Bradley Beal because Jimmy doesn't take hella shots. Even in a game where Jimmy is the only guy, it's still like, Jimmy, put up a couple more, like be a little aggressive out there, like.
Right. Yeah, Jimmy's not your guy though.
Jimmy gets a sneaky 27 almost every game where it's like, I didn't even see you take that many shots. How did you get 27?
He does. Or if Trae Young had like I know he has John Collins. He's all right.
Oh yeah, they're both going to develop, and I think they're both 3-year players, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if he had like a Bam Adebayo Trey Young, that is, or like a
Nah, you
Julius
got to Clint
Randle.
Capella. You don't need an Adebayo.
I'm taking Adebayo over, but Adebayo's on a USA team, I believe. Like
Nah,
he's
I'll tell you what. On both of those players you just named, I'm taking both of the players Atlanta already has. Now, I'm not saying that either one is better. I'm
really
not saying that Capella is better than Adebayo or that who else did you say?
Julius Randle.
Or Julius Randle is better than John Collins. But what I can say is I know how y'all mesh, being John Collins and Trey Young. I know that you show up in the playoffs, being John Collins, not Julius Randle. And
Right.
then Clint Capella and Bam Adebayo are two similar players for me to want to go with one over the other. You're the same person. You're cleanup guys. You're defensive cleanup guys. You're the exact same person.
Mm.
So it's like, what's the point in trading for if I have that guy? He's just the 1A, 1B.
Right. I mean,
It's not like
you could
one's
be
one,
right.
one's two. It's 1A, 1B when I think of Adebayo and Clint Capella.
Right.
I'd probably give Adebayo 1A and Clint Capella 1B.
Right. I mean, Adebayo can do a lot though.
He's a
not
dog.
the tallest big man.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Just,
And he shoots threes too. He will hit a three. That's why I'll give him 1A over Capella. Because Capella's not really taking it out there. I've seen him shoot before, but he's not really taking it out to the three.
right. What I would do, Cliff, is like when Chris Paul does retire, which we know is sometime in the near future.
Yeah.
What I would do is, if I was Devin Booker or Trey Young, I would be trying to figure out, where do we play at? Like, do we both ball out in Phoenix? Do we do it in Atlanta? Because I feel like even those two as a tandem too in a backcourt.
I think it looks good on paper, but once again, I don't think it's good in real life. Booker's another person that needs to put up hella shots to start hitting, unless he comes out the gate hot. But
Right.
you gotta ask, how often does he come out the gates hot? I would say he needs to come into his shooting percentage more often than he has a great game, out the gate. Like last game, I think, not to skip ahead, but he was like 1 for 8 from 3.
Last
Finished
night.
the game 8 for 21 or something like that. Like, it's
Man,
like,
last night.
right, it's like, I get it, you're Devin Booker, so we want you to keep taking shots even if you're missing, but we
Right.
can't have two people on the team like that. You get what I'm saying? We can't
You're
have a
right.
Trey saying, keep taking a shot even if you miss it, and a Booker, keep taking a shot even when you... That's a whole lot of misses if both y'all having a bad game.
But so let me challenge you with this. What's the difference with Steph and Clay in that regards?
Steph and Clay have always been together.
Well, I meant as far as taking shots, like making versus
that's the
misses
thing,
versus
because that's the
attempting.
thing. So here's how that dynamic works, and it's funny that you bring that up. That's a great point or thing to bring up.
Right.
So Steph was always that guy. Out the
Right.
gates, before Clay was even there, Steph was always that guy. Take those shots even when you miss them.
Right.
Take those shots even when you miss them. So by the time Clay got there, we knew what he could do. We knew his potential, right? But because he had so limited of shots, because Steph was the guy, Clay was almost the equivalent, and I don't mean to disrespect him, but he was almost the equivalent to my guy that came from Cleveland, plays for the Nets. White boy. Joe Harris.
Okay.
What
that's what I was gonna say.
what was impressive about both of them is because they weren't the number 2 guys like that on the team, they
Right.
had to make the few shots that they got in the game. And they were so consistent with those limited amount of shots that it eventually got to a point where it was like, y'all got the green light. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't
right.
like you bringing two players that already have the green light together on one team. Both of those players moved up to being able to have the green light based off of their shot percentage off of 12 shots a game. Where Steph is taking 22, 25. But because Clay ended 9 for 12 and they were all threes, he has the green light now. If he touches the ball and he doesn't want to pass it, he has permission to do that. Same with Joe Harris.
Right.
But once again, it's a little different when you're bringing two players that have the green light into one team, especially when one of them's new and one of them's been there. Because we all know, let's be honest, I'd probably rock with Booker over Young if he came over there. But Trey's going to be thinking like, nah, I don't care what Devin Booker or how long Devin Booker been around. This is my team. Kind of like Kyrie and LeBron. You feel what I'm saying? That's where shit gets crazy because Kyrie always had the green light. Then LeBron comes in who always had the green light. Now Kyrie's feeling like, I need to leave so I can have more of a green light. I keep getting stopped at reds. I don't like this.
Well, we know the grass ain't always greener on the other side.
Right, and that's why I say on paper that sounds like a good pick. And I'm not saying that it didn't. You could be 100% right. And based on your previous predictions, I would put my money on you before I would put it on me. But just thinking like beyond analytics and, about ego, styles of play. And I'm not saying Booker or Young have an ego. I'm just saying you'd be surprised how quick an ego grows when you put people in a position where they're like, hold up now. I could have stayed where I was, or you could have, you know what I mean?
No, you're right. You could
be absolutely right. Trae Young and Devin Booker could come together and be the hottest thing since Steph and Clay. Like, blow them out the water. That's possible as well. I just would put my money on Steph and Clay before I ever put it on Trae and Booker to be able to do that. Because Steph and Clay came up organically where you would be putting them together like a boy band. Like, get along and make good music. You know what I mean?
You're stupid. He's like a boy band. I feel you.
But that's how they used to do back in the 90s. And then you see the behind the scenes and they'd be like, yeah, Justin tried to stab me 3 times over songs that he thought he wrote. But
B2K had all that drama after the
fact. That's what I'm saying.
Where
Steph and Clay, like, your little brother fucked with my little sister. Oh, that's cool. We like brothers. You know what? Shit like that. Like.
And they have a good relationship. Like, you can tell they have a good, genuine,
And I know I didn't mean, that was just an example, but Lil Steph, I said Lil Steph.
Is that right? Steph Curry?
Little sister just got pregnant.
Yeah, by Damian Lee, her husband. So, yeah. I seen that.
Yeah. So, shouts to the Curry
Damian
family.
Lee and the Curry.
Right. Blessings with you.
That's going to be the family that, like you said, just taking over the
dynasty.
NBA. That's the dynasty.
That's the dynasty family right there, I'm telling you.
Because they got, just Seth and Austin Rivers, Steph, Damian Lee. No offense. Obviously Damian Lee, not to discredit him, because he's in the NBA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But he's not that same type of, but the athleticism in general, the genetics that he has, and he's a bigger dude.
Right, mixed with the Currys.
Right, so that you never fucking know. You never know, G.
And at the end of the day, like, his son or daughter obviously is going to be the niece or nephew of Seth and Steph. So,
and she's still, and regardless, she might not be in the NBA, but she still has those genetics, though.
Exactly.
She still has those genetics.
It's gonna be scary to see.
So if they have a boy and that's a Damian Lee with Steph Curry genetics,
man,
then you got damn near KD on your hands.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you got a problem.
You got a more fluent big man, like a big man that can kill you from anywhere.
Right.
That's interesting. It's interesting to see. And you know what is funny, and I know we'll get to it later on in the show, but that's my favorite part of sports. Is watching the people coming up. Like
watching the people come up.
Right, like the freshmen in high school and all that. That way I can be like, oh, I remember them. Like, I remember Jalen Green and Jalen Suggs and all them from 9th grade in high school. And that's something I can literally say. Like, I watched them 8th and 9th grade in high school on YouTube and shit. I knew who they were before they came out. And I just love seeing the players that are developing and where they are by the time they actually get to the league.
See, and it's funny you said that because I need to start doing that, number one, more. And
What,
number
looking into the new talent?
yeah, and also number two, I finally seen your boy with the one arm,
Hansel Emmanuel.
Hansel. Man, I watched some of his highlights.
I think it's possible he can make it to the league.
I
think it's possible. I think it's very possible he could make it to the league. I think it's very possible he could be the first one arm, not like a 6-man, but guy that comes off the bench and you put in to hit some shots and do some. I can see that happening. There's so many players that don't have his talent that are that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
no, I agree, and I like him. I like the way he plays. I like his style.
And it's amazing to see somebody do that with one arm.
Right. I know you talked about him, but I was like, let me see for myself. And I seen some of the highlights and was like,
listen.
All right.
Aaron might be eating his words. That's all.
Oh, Aaron said he would. That's right.
Aaron said he'd never make it to the NBA. I said he's going D1. Like, if you're going D1, and I know that's a big leap, D1 to the NBA, but he's going D1 with one arm. He's nationally ranked with one arm. What are you saying? He did that with one arm. Or does that mean that he has no shot at the NBA simply because he only has one arm?
Right.
I don't know.
He's got potential. I mean, it's just sad because we know how people are with judgment and whatever.
Your camera off.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just go back to doing what I was doing.
You was over there jacking your cock. Put your cock in your pants. We know what them Zoom meeting folks do when they turn their cameras off. He said, I thought I logged out. Where you at, G?
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can't see. Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay, can you see me now?
There you go.
Okay, my fault. I finally, as you and I know, before the show started, I finally got the
mic shit.
I got it downloaded, but it wasn't registering. I thought I could maybe finesse it real quick, but I'll mess with that.
You good?
For going forward. But anyways, I'm back.
Good anyway. You good?
Okay.
What was he talking about? Oh, that Hansel Emmanuel dude.
Yeah,
but like I said, I wish him the best. Like, what can you say about that guy? There's not a lot of bad you can say about him other than he has one arm.
And he still could beat you. He still could dunk. He was dunking. He was dunking too. I was like,
dunking, hitting threes, step backs, all that with one arm. He uses his shoulder, if you notice, like he uses his nub like to adjust the ball, then goes up with the shot.
Right.
He's mastered it though. That guy, I hope to see him in the league one day. If he goes, I don't care where he goes. I'm getting his jersey. The one arm guy, I need your jersey. Even if they ship you off to the G League, what's his jersey for the team he went to before y'all shipped him there?
Yeah, I like him. I think you said he's going D1.
Yeah. I can't remember where he's going.
That's what I was going to say.
But I think he already committed somewhere.
He's a senior currently, is what you're saying, and everything?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. If what I'm remembering is correct. But I knew he was D1 from a Ball is Life episode where he came out and was playing with, like the people on the court. Like they, that's a tight-knit family. They all play with each other, but they be meeting up places. And one of the dudes was like, you gotta respect, bruh, one arm or not, he going D1 and all that. And I started looking into it like, okay, let me find out. And he ranked and all that.
See, that's impressive to, have that disability that what many people would consider a disadvantage and to be ranked and to be able to play. And
that's some true overcoming shit. That's
hell
true,
yeah.
That's the true definition of I would love to not meet. I would love to meet,
right?
But I would love to hear his parents speak, because they had to speak a lot of power into that boy for him to be like, nah, I got it.
Right. Have belief.
Like,
And,
I'm still gonna cook you. I got it. They had to speak a lot
right.
of power into that boy for him to have that confidence to be able to do that, and God bless him for it. The parents
'Cause I,
and the boy.
yeah, because I don't know if I would, I mean, that's hard. You know what I mean? To do a lot. I mean, even the
Right.
everyday things we think are simple, even like right now, like,
And then
like,
imagine his dad, right? Imagine his dad being an athlete and being like, I didn't make it. I need a boy to make it. And then the baby comes out with one arm, and you like, oh shit, it's over. And then he
right,
like, well, let me show you something real quick. Hold up now.
right.
Let me hold
Don't
my
count me out.
pacifier. Let me show you
Yeah,
something real quick.
right.
Cause that's just an amazing story. That's why I think it's already written. He's in the league.
I hope so. That would be nice to see.
I think it's already
Especially.
written and he's in there. But we'll move on. It's finals. We talking finals, ladies and gentlemen. It is upon us. And the first thing I thought, and I'm gonna tell you this, when the finals started. First and foremost, did you watch that game? The game last night?
Man, I turned it off after the third quarter, bro. When they was going into,
I fell asleep. I fell asleep around I think the third or something like that.
when I seen the blowout, I was like, bruh.
I figured as much though. But the only reason why I asked you is because did you see old girl, the young lady who sung the national anthem?
No, I didn't see the definitely didn't see the
killed that
pre-game. Who was it?
I don't know. Some looked like she was
Local
like Asian and
person?
black or something like that. She was
Blasian.
like, I don't know what, but she was something. She was very
She nailed
talented.
it. Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, like I said, I watched the majority of the game. I thought the Suns were doing their thing. It's funny because I'm gonna have to start being like you and get stuff in writing. So I called Jay on FaceTime like 2 or 3 days ago, and I was like, I got money on the Suns. He's like, bet I got 50 on the Bucks, right? So the game's going on, so I'm texting him, run my money. Oh, bro, I got the Suns. What you talking about? I said, what? So I said, that's okay. I think he's being dead ass serious too. Might have been being funny. But I said, I'm gonna start pulling a clip. I'm gonna need either a voice recording or something in writing through text to screenshot it and go back. I said, yeah, because I don't like betting.
I don't play those games.
Yeah, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Because then you try to talk about, oh, you owe me, nah, bro. But anyways, I thought it was cool, but Suns they were putting it on them last night. I mean, they was at home.
They
Fans
don't
were
match.
loving it.
They don't match. I already told you. I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
2 episodes ago, I said I want to see Hawks and Suns because I feel like that matchup would do more justice than a Bucks Suns matchup. Like I can see it being Suns and 4 again.
I say 5. But
I say 5, but I could see 4 happening.
You can see 4
easily. Like they just don't match up. And the era of thinking that you can put your team behind one man is dead.
No, I agree.
It's been dead, and Giannis was the only one keeping it alive until this year when Trae Young came out the gates. But you see that even with Trae Young, it's not enough. You don't have enough.
No.
And then y'all got lucky because the fucking boogeyman fell apart. If the Nets would have been still healthy, nobody would have had a chance to come out the East.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think Kyrie.
Nobody would have had a chance to come out the East. Period. The best team got beat in the first round that had a chance to come out other than Boston, and that was the Celtics. If the Celtics had Jaylen Brown, that would have been a game. Boston and the Nets. And then I don't know if I'd have said the same thing. Like nobody would have, because I don't know what Jaylen Brown does on the court with Jason Tatum and a healthy squad.
And if Julius Randle would have played like he did in the regular season, he could have made the finals, or not the finals, but the playoffs interesting for the Knicks. But
what we also been saying too, though, since the beginning, damn near the beginning of when we started this shit, beginning of the season, they don't have Dinwiddie either.
Oh yeah, they don't have.
Now you bring Dinwiddie back with all them motherfuckers, and
he's a dog.
Whoa, you got a problem.
Right, he's a dog.
Like the West has a problem. Everybody has a problem.
And LaMarcus Aldridge had to retire because of that heart issue out of nowhere. And
Well, I mean, they might have spent it. They might have blew their load. You know what I mean? That's what everybody's talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about you bought yourself a championship. You might have blew your load on players that can't make it. No longevity.
So was Julius Irving right? Remember the comments he said a couple months ago about some of these teams, and preferably the Nets. Most recently, he was trying to say like these teams are trying to buy a ring. Remember we talked about we gave him hit the showers months ago. We both did.
Well, no, I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't agree with the statement just because who can't if you have the money and the location.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they did anything that no other team could do. It
Right.
just so happened that worked. The players agreed to meet up there. That's different. I mean, yeah, it goes into I'm gonna spend some money to get some rings, but it takes a lot more than just money to line something up like that. You got to have players willing to take the deduction to go and work together and do all that, and it doesn't usually just work out. And when it does work out, it very rarely, I'll continue with very rarely, I was about to say never works out the first year.
It hardly does. It does for the most part. I mean, didn't that happen with Miami?
I don't know what. Yeah, Miami lost the first year. Yeah, I don't know what team that's ever been put together like that works out the first year. So let me retract that very rarely and go to never. The only reason why I thought to hold out was because I was thinking somebody, maybe a smart ass, maybe like, well, what about Kawhi in Toronto? But they also didn't put a team together. That was just one acquisition to that team.
Yeah, that's true.
That team already had chemistry, and you just added one man to it that has to learn that team's chemistry. Whereas that team had to bring 3 different chemistries together along with all the other players. That's something completely different. So I think I'll go out on the limb and I'll say never works out the first year.
And Cliff, not to mention, brand new coach, first ever coach in the NBA with a whole new team that hasn't.
With Steve Nash, you're talking about with Steve. Yeah, that's a good point to make too. But like Aaron and them said, I don't know how much coaching he's doing. I think it came down to the injuries.
Yeah, it was a lot of injuries. COVID, mental health. I mean,
I think that's what knocked them out the playoffs. There's no way the Bucks would have won that with a healthy Kyrie. You can take Harden out of it. Take him all the way out of it. You didn't even got to include him because we don't know what he's going to give you on a nightly basis in the postseason anyway. But we know Kyrie and Kevin Durant will put up some numbers. So if both of them are together, not even together on the court, but together available, it's a problem for most teams out there.
Right. No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you said, I was kind of iffy about the playoffs just because it's like I knew the potential, what it could have been if more people were healthy or played or whatever the situation was. I mean, it is what it is. It just was like, man, what if,
I mean, but that's not, I guess at the end of every and any season, you'll always have what ifs.
Right.
So regardless of this being a 72-game season and they try to condense games so players are going back to back, they all had to play. You know what I mean? Every team had to play. It's not like one team got to sub out and be like, we going to take this week off. No, every team had to play.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. I just like people were weak this season, whether it be mentally or, just sitting out. You know what I mean? Like, I think
COVID took a toll on everybody, and that's mostly on the mental aspect of it.
Yeah.
Whether it be having to get tested daily or restricted practices and all that, it was just I bet a lot of players were like, I'm over this shit.
Burnout.
Like this ain't what I came to the NBA for. And then you look at the rookies and you see the rookies acting out, and it's like, well, that makes sense because this is their first introduction to the NBA. They're like, I don't give a fuck if it's in a bubble. I don't care if it's in a square. I just want to get there. Put me in the game, coach.
Right. Right.
So you see
Right.
all the rookies showing out, and then all the old heads getting hurt, and it's like, well, don't they talk about a rookie wall? Why aren't they hitting it? And why are y'all? Y'all are the vets. Why ain't the
Mm.
rookies hitting the wall?
Mm.
I mean, granted, LaMelo did have that little injury that kept him out for a little bit,
He
but
did. He did.
I mean, and so did Halliburton. But at the
Yeah, he
same
got hurt.
time, right at the same time, motherfuckers was playing like they were playing. They were
Yeah, they
playing
was in there.
throughout the season. They weren't sitting games out and saying, "I'm not gonna play this game." No, they were playing. So I don't give excuses to the star players that get the opportunity to sit out if they're not feeling it and still come up injured.
Yeah, that doesn't make no sense because, like you said, there's a lot of rookies that was doing their thing this year and was playing. You know, now they may not play as many minutes as some of the stars. You know, obviously that may vary, but they still play game in, game out.
Right, that's the issue. Game in, game out. It don't matter how many. See, I wouldn't be mad at star players if they were like, "I'm gonna limit
What's up,
my
Don?
minutes." Oh, what up, Don? Don in the house. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad at stars if they said, "I'm gonna limit my minutes this game."
Right.
But if
right.
you say I'm sitting out this game and then your bitch ass get hurt 2 months later and then you want to complain about the length of the season, shut your bitch ass up. You ain't even play the whole season.
That's true.
It'd
That's
be different if you fought through the whole season and said that. Then I could say, oh, that makes sense because you played in every single game and gave it your all. But if you didn't and you fix your lips to say, oh, see, that's what's wrong, shut your bitch ass up. And that goes to LeBron.
LeBron, I was going to say,
Yes.
put that name on it because we already know.
Fan or not, shut your bitch ass up. That's some
you
bitch
ain't
ass
played
shit
the whole
to
year.
say.
You played the whole year. You see, did you hear about on that kind of side note with that? Did you hear about? I guess some announcer said something offensive about his son during the game. LeBron was attending. LeBron went over there and checked the announcer. I have to send you the video. It was on like World Star or something. But
oh, it was probably one of the games I saw because I've been watching Bronny over the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
on ESPN or something.
No, I don't watch him on ESPN. I be watching on the YouTube. You know, I look up
Oh,
games
right.
on YouTube and shit.
I
If I can't find the full game, I'll watch the highlights. Or if I don't feel like watching the full game, I'll watch the highlights. But yeah, he just he lost to his old teammate Gabe Cup. He lost to his team by 2 points. And then he just lost to what's his name? Another white boy. McCaskey or something like that. He a dog too. I can't think of his fucking name. But Bronny went off that game.
Did he?
Bronny went off that game.
Still haven't seen him play.
Man, you gotta watch him. I think he has the potential. He's not gonna be his dad by no means in the way they play. Their styles are completely different. But I do think he has the potential to be better.
Really?
As far as all around goes. Like they're already talking about Bronny's going to be a pure point guard coming in the league.
I mean, he got some big shoes to fill.
They saying Bronny ain't going to be no point forward like LeBron. He's going to be a pure point guard coming into the league. He's already going to have height and his jumper is crazy right now. So I feel like you're only your junior year in high school. You still got one more year of high school to develop, and then you go to college, right? And I feel like you lost a year of development with that meniscus tear, and you miss your sophomore year. So now everybody's looking at you. It's your time to shine.
So do you think, speaking of college, since NCAA is going to start, I guess they announced they're going to start paying or doing something for their
paying players for the likeness,
right? for the athletes, for the likeness.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that that's also their way? Because obviously they're trying to make money, even though they got to pay money now, which they're trying to avoid. Do you think that's their way of trying to hold on to players obviously longer?
They're not
because
losing money.
Oh, they're not.
No, they're not losing money. Basically, what they're saying is if you can make money off of selling your jersey, go ahead and sell that jersey. If we choose to have an NCAA basketball game and your number and your image is in that game, we're going to give you a percentage of what we make from that game.
As
But
they
they're not
should.
losing any money because they're not putting those games out. You notice that the first time the NCAA footballs came out since 2014 is this year when they just came across that agreement.
So they are, yeah. So they are gonna make one.
Right, it's coming out. It's already coming. It's coming out. It's coming out next year. I guess at the start of the season is when NCAA college football comes back out, and I always like that better than Madden anyway.
Now you're saying when you say next year, I mean you mean next season, but this year, like how Madden
Right,
22
NCAA 22 should be coming out around
Couple months.
August or September.
You gonna get it?
I might, just for like the nostalgia of it. You know what I mean? Because that would, like I said, I loved college football over Madden.
Pros, yeah.
Period. Just
Right.
the gameplay in general. I
Yeah,
like it better.
playbook and all yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I can definitely see myself getting it as opposed to getting like a Madden.
I miss college basketball games too. Remember those clips?
Yeah, I like football way better than basketball. Basketball
Did you?
just
I liked them
seemed funny to
both.
me.
I like
Yeah,
it,
no,
but
I liked 2K over the basketball, but the basketball was also made by Live as well by EA,
Right.
so
So it might
that
be
may
different
be a
now.
reason why I wasn't really feeling the NCAA too. If I'm not,
because you know they would make it
Yeah,
similar
no.
to 2K if they plan on rolling that
oh
out.
no, you
which
know
I'm
they
sure
wouldn't, because it's still
You don't
be an
think
EA
so?
Sports game. EA has licensing on that.
Damn. Yeah.
2K don't
I
have
gotta watch
licensing on
Bronny.
college sports, so they can't make a college sports game. That's why they stick to the pros. They don't even have licensing on football. That's why NFL 2K isn't made anymore, and that was
I remember
better than
that.
Madden in my opinion.
Hey, at the time, yeah, he had what's my boy, the announcer? I love him. Chubby white dude. He could go all the way. You know who I'm talking about. I like, hey, that's one of my favorite commentators. What's his name?
I don't know.
But he was
first. The only dude, chubby white dude that comes to mind is Madden.
who's Chris Berman.
Okay,
Is that his
well, I
name?
would probably don't know him by name. Listen,
If you've seen him though.
yeah,
Chris
I don't.
Berman, yeah.
And then that's you gotta think 2K football. They stopped making that like 2002, 2003. Before I
No.
got out of high school.
They made one because T.O. was on the cover. I remember playing as a kid. T.O. was on the cover of one of them.
And you said that was like 2007.
I want to say because
I
he's on the
don't know.
Eagles because he was in the Eagles jersey, and that's when around the time he. Let me see. You said
Are you sure that wasn't in the
NFL.
throwback cart at GameStop?
nah NFL 2K
NFL 2K.
2K last game.
Mm-hmm.
The last one was we're both wrong, but it's 2K5. That's when I was
Okay.
right because T.O. was on the
So
cover
it's the
catching
year
the
after
ball.
I got out of high school then.
Yeah, but that was dope. Looking back on it, I used to mess with it though.
Yeah, I
You are
love
right.
2K. I love NFL 2K.
Yeah, I guess I think about doing a reboot. If I just read this
I don't think
correctly.
so.
You don't think so?
I don't think they have the licensing to do so unless it's like gone up, like to where EA no longer is under contract with the NFL and now it's open and they can buy in as well.
so.
And yeah, Donovan, yeah, I do watch. I watch Bronny on Ball Is Life, or you can look up the full games too if you know the teams that are playing.
Yeah, I need to watch Bronny. Now, question: I thought him and Zaire Wade were on the same team too. Is Zaire Wade
Same
graduated?
high school team,
but different ages. They're not the
but
same
I don't.
age.
Yeah, Zaire's a year older.
So does Zaire
might be
graduate? Right? Did he? I'm saying, wait, what's he doing?
Yeah, I
next
think he
then?
may
Like,
be going off to college this year.
I'm about to look at it because I haven't heard like.
But
what his plans
there's
are.
been bad things about him. Not bad things, but you know, people always hate on the internet. They're saying that he's not gonna have his dad's size, which I don't think should fucking matter. His dad was only 6'3.5" or some change. They said he's 6'2" right now.
Yeah, he's 6'2", 175.
Right.
Yeah.
So let the boy grow. He's only fucking 19, 18, 19. You
Right.
don't, and they're saying that his head's not in it. He doesn't have the same skill his dad had. First of all, his dad never had a jumper. Zaire at least has a jump shot. He's definitely
Right.
not as explosive as his dad was. That's a fact. But let's let him grow into that. Dwayne Wade also spent a few years in college before he came out. He didn't come out as a rookie. I think he came out as
Oh,
a
right.
junior. I know
I
he
think
did at least 2 years. I think he did 3 though.
I guess it hasn't. I guess Zaire Wade hasn't announced what he was. He was supposed to have graduated this year. It's a class of 2021.
Yeah, he graduated this year. I just don't know where he's going to college at. Somebody, I think I saw an article saying he didn't get any D1 offers.
Really?
I think I saw an article saying he didn't get any D1 offers.
Dwayne went to Marquette from 01 to 03. So
3 years. So 1, 2, 3.
yeah, so I guess a junior. He left junior year.
Right. So right.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. So he spent 3 years in college. Of course, he's going to be a little bit more explosive than your average rookie would be. But we're talking about an 18-year-old child. Like, hop off his fucking dick. You feel me? And now it's a situation where he got a little bad model girlfriend. So that people are saying that they don't know if he's focused on basketball. He may be... like, motherfuckers is just talking shit just to be talking shit at this point.
Right.
I think he's on par to be just as good as his father, regardless of what offers he does get. Is Marquette in the Division I?
Let me see.
I don't think so.
I want to say they are. Division.
You might be right.
I want to say they are D1.
Yeah, you might be right.
Like a smaller market D1,
Right,
but I want to
right.
say it's D1. Division. Marquette. Yep, NCAA Division I men's basketball.
Yeah, you might be right. But I thought about that.
And then
I
the
think-
Big East.
Yeah, I think you're just right. The market's not as big.
Right. Like, no one's going to just say, I want to go to Marquette, you know.
But even fucking still, you feel what I'm saying? It's not like your dad went to UCLA. It's not like your dad went to North Carolina. It's not like your dad was a prospect coming out the gates to be amazing, is what I'm getting at. It took him 3 years out of college to go to the league. So why is everybody being so hard on him just because his last name is Wade, is what I'm saying.
It's that pressure. I mean, you probably know better than me since you're a little bit older, but, you know, what were they saying about Jordan's sons when they were in college? I don't know. I don't remember. Like, I truthfully just don't know and remember, but you might have probably heard or seen more, like, whatever they were saying with them coming in.
They were talking about him like a dog.
I bet.
They were talking about Jordan's son like a dog.
Because both of them played D1. I think one played for Illinois and one played for somebody else.
Did they both play D1?
I looked it up. Let me just double check.
I know one did for sure, and they talked about him like a fucking dog, talking about he'll never live up to be his dad. He didn't even make it to the league.
Right. Neither one of them did, right?
Right. Sure. Right. Neither one of them even got drafted.
Jeffrey Jordan. Okay. Jeffrey Jordan played for Illinois from 2007 to 2010. Then he played for UCF from 2010 to 2012. Marcus Jordan, his brother. Damn it, where'd it go?
Neither one of them made the league. I know that for a fact.
Oh, they didn't. They didn't. Marcus Jordan also played for UCF. Oh, he's 2 years older than me. Okay. So they both played.
He transferred. The older brother transferred to play with his brother on his last years type shit.
See, that's what I'm.
Because
Marcus
you said a total of 5 years for Jeffrey. You said he played 3 years with, and that doesn't mean you're wrong, because he could have been like
2 years off. They probably did play together 2 years apart. Yeah, I bet
but
you're
yeah,
right.
No, neither one of them was. Listen, so
no, wasn't shit. I mean,
so
no
maybe
disrespect.
LeVar Ball was better than Jordan. Maybe he would have backed it. I'm just
playing. What? But you know what? So you bring up a good point. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest of all time.
We just know he wasn't involved.
That's what I was going to say.
That's what it
like,
comes down to. He just wasn't involved.
That's what I was going to say.
LeVar Ball was the dad that didn't have nothing else to do, so he was out there like, all right, let's go put up some jump shots. He was like, my dad, like, nope, you ain't done with practice.
Right.
More jump shots.
Right.
But Jordan was too busy with a shoe deal or playing golf or fucking off on a mama that he was like, y'all gonna have to learn from these trainers I paid for y'all.
I got other obligations.
I got Jordan brand trainers on the team. They'll show you how to.
And to answer your question, Don, Aaron has some family business tonight, so that's why he's not on. He has some matters to attend to.
Yeah.
But also, Clip, I wonder, because let's be honest, we know Jordan is very selfish, right? At least it appears like he is. I don't know the perfect description to describe what I
know. Okay, I'm following exactly what you're saying. So when
do you think that he purposely set up his son?
No. Because I think Jordan's I think Jordan's ego is bigger than his son's, I'm right. Bigger than his son succeeding him. So when you said that, that was my first thought that you were saying is that was he worried about his son doing better than him and he didn't want to put in the time because of such. I think not, for the simple fact that even if Jordan's son did break all of his records and stats, he would say the same thing that he says currently about LeBron, that the era of basketball is different and he wouldn't have been able to do that in the era that I played in. Right. So regardless, that still goes to a Jordan. That's me right there. That my nut dropped 30 on you. Not my son, but my, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not him
it's still
as himself,
me either way.
But me, right.
Some Mike Brown shit.
That's where I get that kind of vibe from Jordan more so than I'm not gonna train my son because he might beat my records. Nah, he probably don't care. So, and even if he did, he'd be like, "You playing that soft ass era of basketball? You ain't beat my fucking records." Even though I just seen that meme up the other day that this is why Jordan dropped all the points he dropped. And you see the two dudes with gray hair, like legit gray hair, like he going up on two old ass men, and they talk about this is why Jordan got it. And I said that, like, listen, they did play a little bit more bully a ball, but there was nowhere near the level of talent there was back then as there is now.
That's
not even close. I bet you honestly, hopping out the window once again, do not catch me. I bet you honestly, you could take a team full of bench players now and put them back in that era and they make the playoffs.
Yeah, especially if you get the right bench. Yeah.
I bet you could put together a team of bench players now that if you put back in those days, they're playoff bound. Not only playoff bound, may even bring the ring home.
Right. I agree.
The level of competition has changed. There's nothing you can say about that. Now, yeah, you may have been able to throw a blow and cause blood, and the ref might not call that foul. But that doesn't necessarily impress me more than someone who is technically better at the game than you.
Right.
Just because you had enough athleticism and enough balls to go up on people that might have been throwing bows at you when you did so, doesn't necessarily mean more to me than the guy who hit for 17 and 19 everywhere on the court. Paint, outside, inside, all that.
And Larry and Magic were on their way out anyways, and Jordan was was really, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing. Like, they were coming off their prime.
A lot of them were. Yeah. Kareem, I would say Kareem was as well.
Saying. Like, I mean, greatness is greatness. I'm not taking that away from Jordan. I'm just saying, like you said, if we're going to talk about talent, I'm
still team Jordan over LeBron, and that comes down to the killer, the killer instinct is all that is. Sure. That's all that is. But when I talk about stats, statistically, you're a dickhead if you don't give it to LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're a dickhead if you don't acknowledge that LeBron is shitting on all the stats. Then people say, well, Jordan didn't have as much time in the league. Nobody told him to stay in college that long.
nobody told you after rest in peace his father. No one told you to take a year or two break either.
Regardless, I'm just saying in general, LeBron was the young buck out the gates that was like, "Let me at him."
He did. He came.
You stayed in college at North Carolina for those years. Nobody told you to do that.
With one of the best. Well, I know this feels like deja vu because we really went into depth in this episode.
Well, one of the best coaches in the history of the game.
History, bro. Come on now, and then you got Cliff. Then you got a Phil Jackson, bro.
Then you got one of the best coaches in the history of the game.
I'm not taking it away from Jordan. Greatness is greatness, and LeBron is the record holder in a lot of things. Both of them are great in their own right.
Right.
But like you said, now if LeBron or Kobe, because rest in peace, my man, we know he came out of high school too. He came straight to the league. If these guys had the Deans, now Kobe did get the Phil Jackson, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, if these guys had the Dean Smith and went to college, how even better is what I'm saying what these guys have been probably too.
Right. You got to understand, LeBron didn't have a coach.
Didn't. He really
LeBron's
didn't.
never had a coach in his life other than maybe Pee-wee.
Tyronn Lue. Pee-wee? Oh,
I'm saying in general, by the time LeBron was a phenom at the age of 13, 14?
Yeah. Yeah.
He already knew he was the man, as well as anybody who had him on the team. Give it to LeBron, let LeBron give it to you. Take the shot if LeBron gives it to you. That's the game plan.
Right.
LeBron didn't have anybody out there that was like, nah, nigga, technical, 90-degree angle, put the shot up correct, follow through, do your thing. You know what I mean? Because he was already that. They were already like, he's going to do what he does.
Don said, and LeBron took teams that didn't have a ring yet and got them. So you have to think of that. He took the Heat and Cavaliers.
That shit just popped up for me. I wonder why this shit is lagging.
No, it just popped up for me too.
I mean, it don't look like the stream is skipping, but I'm saying like you saw that on your YouTube before I saw that on the program that YouTube is running through. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, it might be a lag on that. Yeah, or something.
Are we skipping on your end, Don? But I do agree. I do agree with your statement. It didn't seem like we're skipping, but
and by the way, Don, technically, the Heat did win a ring.
Yeah, they won one, I believe.
With Shaq and Wade, and probably back in the day. I don't know if they won back in the day, but Shaq and Wade.
Before that, I believe they won before that as well.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. I'm sure they did at some point.
Yeah, you talking about with Wade, Shaq, and Jason Williams and Alonzo Mourning and all them. Wow. But I think they won before that. They might not have.
He said we're not skipping.
Okay, good shit. Yeah, and that still didn't come through. Yeah, because I don't think Timmy Hardaway got one with him now that I think about it. So he would have been the one unless it was back in the day. You know what I mean? Like 60s, 70s.
You're right. So they won in 06. That was a Shaq Wade the team.
Right.
And then 12 and 13. Yeah, so you're right. They only got 3 championships.
Yeah. But yeah, what were we talking about before that?
Man, it's like we did like a world tour. Like we started.
We sure did. We went everywhere. So I tell you what, we'll just wrap up that game. The game with the Suns. Like I said, I do think I'm gonna call it a Suns in 5, but I could definitely see it being Suns in 4.
So let's do our predictions right now. I know you got your pen and paper. Let's go ahead.
You know I do.
I guess we'll get Aaron's. All right.
Had to get a different color so I know.
Look where at you, got different colors and everything.
You know, I don't even know. Let's put it up here. So you go.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with my Suns in 5. I do think the Bucks will pull one out. I just don't see the Suns blowing them out, but I can see it. But I'm gonna give the Bucks one game, so I'm gonna say Suns in 5. Because you think, Flip, I was going to tell you earlier, that reminds me real quick while you're thinking of your prediction. Chris Middleton, at least in a game or two, is going to be an X factor because we know that Chris Middleton, some games, not only did he ball up, but he led the Bucks. You know what I mean?
Stop. I have to give him peas because remember I told him he doesn't get multiple 30-point games, and he still didn't because he got 32 against the Hawks. That's what got them the win. And then he got 29 in last night's game. It's not 30, but it is close enough.
One free throw away.
Yeah, I'm not just going to all out say I'm wrong. But
he came from the G League.
It's going to take more than that from him, though, especially if Giannis is still hurt. And I don't know how hurt he is. I know he only scored 20 points in that game. But let's be honest, he came out the gates looking like regular old Giannis.
No, did you see that chase down block? They try to compare it to LeBron one in Game 7. I mean, that was impressive. It looked
similar. It did look
similar. That was impressive, right? I still give it to LeBron on that block, but
no, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, that was so. I seen a Bleacher Report say if anybody doubted Giannis's injury, what that block he had, that was his way of saying I'm okay. Like I'm not as hurt as whatever. But yeah, like you said, we'll see. We'll see.
And I'm not doubting that he wasn't shaken up. I saw the way his leg bent. It did look. Right. It looked iffy. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you're feeble as well. You're built like a flamingo. So I don't. Like a deer. Right. I don't doubt that your leg won't do that coming down sometimes. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're injured so much as you're shaken up.
Right.
Now I understand taking a week off just to guarantee you're fine. But then coming back and doing all that and only hitting 20 then falls on your shoulders, right?
Right.
Because you didn't, like you showed us that you weren't as injured as, we thought you were. But why don't your numbers consist with what you usually put up? You know what I mean? Like he's usually putting up 32 to 40 in a game.
Right.
And you score half that, if I'm being hard on you, in that game, but you give us signs of athletic greatness that would lead us to believe you're not injured. So what's the excuse then? Why only 20?
You think he was just testing the waters last night?
I do. And I'm not going to say that it can't, because listen, coming from somebody that has a very serious knee injury, I know that, like Mike says always, he says it all the time, I may not be as great as I once was, but I'm as great once as I always have been. And I do know, what that means, because I can start a game and feel like I'm on top of my shit, and then towards the second half, I'm like, oh shit, my leg's fucking up. I might need to cool out a bit. Like I get that, right? I get that, but that's also coming from a completely different injury than a overextended knee. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I also don't know I've only played basketball. I've never played organized basketball for a full year.
Yeah.
I've never played for a full year. So I don't know if that's the what's the word I'm looking for? Not like the mantra, or if that's the way it is like with basketball, where it's like don't risk getting more injured, sit out now and be cool. Whereas me coming from football and boxing, it's if you're not injured enough to stop you from moving, get out on that field.
Right.
Or get in that ring.
Well,
so that's where I'm at a loss, where it's like, is an overextended knee enough for us to be like, yeah, take a week off and drop 20 when you come back? I'm looking at it from a contact sport perspective, where it's like, well, if you can do all that, then why weren't you out there last game?
Right.
Like, just why? This is the finals. We're in the playoffs, and I know last game wasn't the finals, and I commend him for coming back to play in the first game of the finals. But if it wasn't as serious as we thought it was, why didn't you play Game 6 of the Hawks? And I remember as well, I was one of the people that said I would sit Giannis unless they lost and then bring him back Game 7. But I also didn't know the extent of the injury. And after seeing you play last night, I can't help but feel like you weren't halfway as injured as you made it out to be.
Oh, no, you know that. You know that.
I don't know. I just don't know. But once again, I feel like you got to give it to Chris Paul. Chris Paul balled out.
Man, did he?
32 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 12 for 19 from the field. I was correct. Devin Booker shot 8 for 21 from the field off of 27 points. That's too many shots, of course, but they got the job done. I don't know if they get it done with those stats if Chris Paul didn't put up 30, though.
Right, and Don had said a couple minutes ago, he just said, you have to think if it is injured, talking about Giannis, or injured, he's trying to calm down to not re-hurt it.
You may not have another shot, though.
Right, not in the finals.
If it was a regular season, I would agree 100%, Donovan. But in a situation where you are fighting for a championship, there should be no place in your mind where you're thinking about a re-injury. You know what I mean?
Right,
I don't.
right.
And yeah, you are. I saw that as well, Cliff. You told you Suns.
In 4.
Yeah, in 4. You did say that, and I didn't agree at first, but now that I saw them play, I might be rocking with your decision as well, Donovan. But yeah, no, my whole thing is if it's your shot at a ring, and you may never have an opportunity to get another ring, and you're Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2-time MVP
yeah.
with 2 brothers headed to the league, one already in there, one on the way there.
No, wait, he has 2 in the league already.
Oh, are they both there now?
He has one that plays with him.
Right, Costas.
And then one that's on the Lakers that got the tip last year.
Right, okay.
You said he has 2 more coming to the league?
No, then I think it's just one more coming.
Oh.
They have a younger brother.
Damn, either way.
And I didn't
dynasty.
think that the one on the Lakers was the youngest.
That's a dynasty either way, then. Shit.
It could have been, though, because I know that the youngest brother was coming out, I think, of high school 2 or 3 years ago. So he may have slid in there, and I just didn't see that he got picked up. But I only said that to say you have enough money, right? If you injure yourself and you can never play basketball again, your family would still never have to worry for generations to come.
No, not at all.
But if this is my opportunity at a ring, and only thing that happened to my knee was it got hyperextended, if I can jump, oh, bitch, you can trust I'm catching that oop you throw me.
Right. And there's 5 brothers total, by the way, including Giannis. I'm trying to see if the other ones play ball.
The youngest one might be coming out this year or came out last year, then it may not have made the league.
So Francis Antetokounmpo, fun fact, is
youngest
the oldest.
is the smallest one, and I think he's like 6'8".
Is he?
Yeah.
So Francis is the oldest of the 5 brothers. He's a semi-professional. I didn't know that. Semi-professional basketball player. Okay.
Giannis is like the third oldest or something like that. He has an older brother that's in the NBA. I think that's the one on the Bucks with him.
Alex, you're probably talking about Alex. Alex Antetokounmpo is a Greek professional basketball player. He's 6'8", yep, and he's 19 years old.
So that's the one then. Okay, so he went to so he would have came out last year or this year, because if he's 19, he just went to Greece instead of
He might bounce up, maybe he'll get a chance. We'll see.
But see, I mean, the only reason why I know that shit is because, like I said, I like looking at the talent coming up as opposed to the talent in the league. I want to see who's on their way. And I did know that the younger brother, he actually looked like he was going to be decent because he's smaller and he had a more athletic game. Like a more pure jump shot, could pass a bit. Like I felt like he was going to fit a little more than Giannis did, but
he's a small forward.
Not.
He's a small. Yeah, I didn't know that. So, wow. Okay. Well, their parents did something right.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta give it to them. All of them are athletically gifted, but they also come from that motherland too. So
right, they're from Greece, right?
No, they're from Africa. They moved to Greece.
Yeah, Antetokounmpo, right.
Yeah, they're from Africa. They moved to Greece.
Listen. Hmm.
But
Yeah, what was you didn't give your prediction yet, did
oh
you?
yeah. I'ma go. Let me put Don down. He says Suns in 4.
We'll have to ask Doc Connector his before we get too
Dot
deep
Connector,
into
I don't
it.
know if he was bullshitting, but he said he thinks it might go 7.
Oh, he did say that, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a fool for that.
Yeah, I don't think
I
not.
think I think I'm rocking with you. I think I'm gonna go Suns in 5.
We also have to say that's assuming there is no significant injuries to any big name, because obviously that's another thing that bites us sometimes naturally, as we say this is going to be in 5 or 6 or whatever, and then so and so's hurt or out, and
No,
that
no.
changes
Regardless, I say
dynamic.
Suns in 5.
Well, shit, Chris Paul get
Injuries
hurt.
or not, I don't care if Devin and Chris get hurt. Suns in
Oh,
5.
now you tripping. That's a whole different game right there. If they get hurt, that's a whole different game. Now
You know, I'm
DeAndre
being
Ayton,
bullshit, but yeah, no, I still feel Suns in 5.
yeah, I like DeAndre Ayton a lot too, man.
I mean, he dropped a 22 on them last game, 19 rebounds.
Yeah,
Nice
man.
strong double-double, one off of that 2020 game.
I like the coach too, Monty Williams. I didn't know that him and
Love
Chris
Monty
Paul.
Williams.
I didn't know they played together back in they got history back in New Orleans and stuff. I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Cool.
Okay, so we move on, and then we'll get into this mock draft. I just
Yep,
got two
yep.
things here. Trade rumors. Talking about Pascal Siakam getting traded from Toronto to the Golden State Warriors for James Wiseman in that number 7 pick in the first round.
That's not worth it though. I like
That
him,
was
but
my
not
first
that.
question: is do you think that trade is worth it?
No, not for because I like Wiseman before he got hurt. He's showing potential, and then you're saying the number 7 pick. I mean, there's a couple guys you know what I'm saying. I don't know.
What about Cameron Johnson? That's my cousin. We talked about that a couple podcasts ago. I fuck with Cam.
That's your cousin.
Nah, I said, but knowing my grandfather, that's his last name.
Oh.
I said, his kids, we still finding out about from him, so I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't
Could be.
kin to me.
Could
But
be.
yeah, I fucks with Cameron Johnson. He just wishy washy. He's still young. He don't get enough looks to get comfortable with his game. But I do see him as being a player coming down the line that moves into like a 6-man role. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Cameron Johnson doesn't win like a 6-man of the year in the next 3 years. Matter of fact, let me write that down because I feel like that's hot. That's a hot take. 6-man, next 3, Cam Johnson. Mark my words, Don. But yeah, he's decent. He just, like I said, he got to come into his own right now. He's not there yet. But
sounds familiar.
He the light-skinned dude with the afro on the Nets.
Okay.
Or not the Nets, the Suns.
Oh, I see him now.
Always shoots threes from the corner.
Okay, he went to UNC too. I see him now.
Yeah, nah, he's definitely decent. He just, like I said, he hadn't had enough shine in the pro level to be comfortable with his game. But he's definitely not scared to shoot, and he has good defense, is what I definitely love to see about players. Next trade rumor is Ben Simmons to Portland for C.J. McCollum. How you feel about that? And then follow-up question is, do you think that's enough to keep Dame? Because I think that's more of a reason for Dame to be like, oh, I'm the fuck out of here. Fuck Chauncey Billups.
Yeah.
Fuck Ben Simmons. I'm out.
Forgot about Chauncey going there. That's not enough if I'm Dame to keep me. CJ McCollum, I think he would play better with another complimentary player in the backcourt. I don't know who would. Well, okay, they have
that might be a good one.
What?
CJ to Atlanta
with Trae Young.
That might be a good one.
I mean, it definitely would be, but I feel like what's the difference with him and Dame? Because we know Dame is better than Trae.
But that's what I'm saying though. Trae's in the East, and
Dame's
Trae
in the
has a
West.
completely different game than Dame does.
Yeah, I mean, he shoots from the logo though. I mean, yeah, it's really
Right,
similar
but
though too.
Trey will guarantee you 8 to 10 assists a game, where Dame will finish a game with 4 and 49 points.
I've seen that Donovan Cameron Payne gets a ring either way, like Virgil did back in the
Yeah,
day.
I saw that as well.
That's a good
Good
point.
point,
I
too,
mean,
Don.
that's a good point. He definitely has a better chance in the East, and I think with Doc Rivers, I think Doc's a pretty good coach. Obviously,
Love Doc Rivers.
Yeah,
I feel like Doc Rivers is the Mike Tomlin of the NFL.
I agree.
NBA.
You know, that's a great comparison. I could definitely agree with that. I can see that. I would agree. Yeah, I like him a lot. I don't think it'd be a bad. Well, I'm not a fan of Ben Simmons. So let me just say this right now for the record.
Either.
Anywhere he goes,
I was.
Well, you know,
until he got exposed in the league. And then I feel like if you can't shoot, at least be Giannis. You don't even try to do that. You're too big not to be doing something, G.
What are you working on in the offseason?
But I do feel bad for him the way motherfuckers is eating him out right now.
Hell no.
They eating him out like a lesbian porno flick. I'm telling you. They are chewing him a new one.
I can't. Listen, hold on. Because you told me to remind you. So if my math is correct according to this timer in Zoom, at 1:31 Zoom, I need you to write that down on your pen and paper to save that. You told me to start, we got to start. So anyways,
shit.
Write that down on 07/7/21 at about a minute or hour 31 in.
I got you.
That's it, boy. But I don't feel bad, Cliff. I don't. I
do feel bad
because you're in the NBA. You're getting paid millions of dollars. You have endorsements. Why isn't your game improving? Why can't you shoot? Why can my whack ass probably shoot better than you? And I don't even play ball.
He got a bad wrist. His wrist is bad. He got a bad wrist.
My money's on me against him and Horace. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you might be able to beat him in Horace.
That's what I'm saying.
I might put my money on you.
Right.
I might put in that's me. I might put my
that's
money
saying
on
something.
You.
And that's saying something.
Horace now.
You know,
if he dunks them all, then we lost all our money.
Right. Okay? I can't defend that. But I don't feel bad, Cliff, because it's like, all right, I'm going to say this. How harsh I am on your boy, Ezekiel Elliott, because he's an ex-Buckeye. All right, let me just cut to the nitty gritty. What I'm saying is Ezekiel Elliott, we know he can be great. But, bruh, what are you doing lately? What are you you're stinking up the place. Like you're not showing
we had that conversation though. I feel like he's not
Ben Simmons.
Well, that's something completely different. I feel like because Ben Simmons has never been Philly's workhorse.
Right.
It's always been Embiid. Ezekiel Elliott has been Dallas's workhorse. So I feel like if he gives up on the team saying that y'all don't got anybody to cover if it's not me, I'm not going to hurt myself for y'all anymore. That makes sense. Ben Simmons can't say that.
That's true. That's a good point.
Zeke can be like, nah, you see my rushing stats before y'all gave me that contract? I'm not doing that again until y'all add some pieces to where you take some strain off my back. Ben can't say that.
But they're paying in Zeke's case, they're paying him big money. He asked for big money. He got it. So I need you to produce either way, bro. He
deserved it. He deserved it. I deserved it before you gave it to me. You gave it to me off the potential that I would continue doing it, and I will continue doing it if you show me that you're going to do more than just rely on me to run the ball all the time.
They got wide receiver. I guess I know this is NBA,
but you don't use them. Use them.
Dak,
use Amari Cooper. Use everybody.
Well, Dak was hurt. I mean, obviously he's coming back, but
right. But Andy Dalton was a pocket passer, a lot better of a pocket passer than Dak, I would say.
Hell no! Here you go. Shit.
I feel like Dak was more of a Russell Westbrook like playmaker than a pocket passer.
I mean,
Andy Dalton's not leaving that pocket.
Right.
I won't step out of it. Right. That got hurt running out of the pocket past the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's most black quarterbacks. Besides, Russell can obviously do both. Russell will, if he needs to.
And I'm not saying Dak can't, but I would put you more in the playmaking category than the pocket passing category.
I agree.
Pat Mahomes, I put him more in a pocket passing category than a playmaking.
Yeah, he don't
because you got to
run too
force
much.
him out of that box.
Yeah, he's not the fastest for real. He's not. He's not
Right.
that. He's
And I
really
respect
not.
it.
Right. Right.
But what I'm saying is, you know, he'll work a pocket. Andy Dalton will work a pocket. Why the fuck is Zeke expected to run the ball 30 times a game? Shit doesn't make sense. Pass the fucking ball, or I'm just gonna take the games off. I'm just gonna not run like I used to.
He definitely ain't.
So I understand why Zeke does that.
Yeah, I mean Ben Simmons. I don't think. I don't like Ben Simmons. I mean, CJ McCollum, I think he's a great player. I think he helps out almost anybody. But Ben Simmons, unless you improve your game, bro, you just a detriment. I mean, you really
Donovan
are.
said, "Get out of here, Cliff. That's like Nick Foles." And you know what? If I'm keeping it a buck, I would say Nick Foles is a better pocket passer than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is not the best pocket passer.
Don, you try to compare Andy Dalton to Nick Foles,
and that's rough. Yeah, that's rough. I would definitely give it to Nicky over Andy Dalton.
Right. I mean,
but I see what he's getting at though. But I'm saying that in my opinion, and my opinion could be off, but my opinion is that's proving my point even further because Nick Foles, in my opinion, is still a better pocket passer than Dak Prescott. And when I say a pocket passer, I mean someone that you will not rush out of the pocket, that will take the sack before they step up and try to run out and move out of the way. Someone that looks for all their reads before they decide to put their head down and cross that line of scrimmage. That's Nick Foles. That's Andy Dalton. That's not Dak Prescott.
Right.
Dak Prescott may skip a few reads to take off on feet because he trusts his feet that much. But I'm sorry. Once again, we're talking basketball, but the whole comparison was Ben Simmons, and I just feel like that's in no way disrespectful to Ezekiel Elliott. I just feel like you can't compare the two because Ben Simmons got another contract.
Did he?
Yeah.
After the loss?
I'm saying beyond his rookie contract, Ben Simmons got another contract, right? To stay. Remember, because they had those issues, him and Embiid.
Embiid
had them issues, and Embiid was like, nah, I don't want him here. And this was like, 3 years ago? And they was like, nah, try to work it out. And they gave him another contract. And now we're here where it's like, should we trade him? This may be, well, no, it can't be his free agency year because they would just release him if they didn't want him.
Right.
But I doubt they would release him because you could still get something for Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? You can get something for him.
You definitely could. I mean, you could. I mean, somebody's going to give us,
Right. So I don't see I don't see him just releasing him.
No.
But I also don't see Ben Simmons for CJ McCollum to Portland either. And if that is the case, it's somebody in Portland that can be taken advantage of.
Right. Yeah, Dame ain't staying over no Ben Simmons. Like I said,
I was saying, what else? If I was Portland.
Right.
They say, we'll give you Ben Simmons for CJ. I say, well, and what else?
Right.
And how many picks?
Right.
Because that don't match where I'm from out west.
Right.
In Oregon. That doesn't line up to me.
Nah, not at all. Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy trade rumor. I haven't heard. I did hear a trade rumor. I think ESPN. About what's the other trade rumor I heard about? My Lakers getting as a point guard. What point guard was it? It wasn't Dame. It was another trade rumor. Somebody. It's gonna bug me, man.
I saw the Lakers with somebody new.
Lakers trade rumors. What was it? Because we were in, the rumor was we were going to give up Kyle Kuzma. And DeMar. So Lakers are interested in DeMar DeRozan. I did see that.
Oh, that's not who I was thinking of.
Nuggets.
That's not who I was thinking of. It wasn't DeMar.
But it was somebody else. Yeah, that's not who I was initially thinking. It was somebody else, and I can't think of it now.
Yeah, and that's gonna bother me too. Let me see.
NBA. NBA rumor says Lakers can land Colin Sexton and Kevin Love in a blockbuster trade. And the rumor would be giving up Kyle Kuzma, Taylor Horton Tucker, and who's the other shooting guard that you like?
That I like, Caruso.
No, the black.
Caldwell Pope.
Is that him or the other guy?
I don't really like him that much, but I'm not against Cleveland.
Yeah, it was
Caldwell
Pope. And it says a 2027 first round pick.
With all that.
Yeah.
Well, Colin Sexton had I believe a 25.4 average on the year. Points average. But that wouldn't work. If LeBron was smart, he wouldn't take that because Colin Sexton doesn't pass.
Well, LeBron gonna make him. You already know.
No. Just because he's LeBron doesn't mean you can download new information into a motherfucker's head. He didn't pass before. So if you think you're going to train him to pass in 1 year, you don't have a lot of time left, bruh.
Right.
That's not the guy you want to hope. Now, yeah, he can put points on the board, and he's pretty durable. Doesn't get hurt too much. Always usually plays. Guarantees you at least 23 points a game.
Right.
But if you don't pass, how does that help you unless you just say, this is my Roomba, right? This is my Roomba. I step off the court. He takes my place and just puts shit. He sucks shit up. He puts shit on the board. Right. That way, at least when I come back, we're not down as many points as if I leave half broke ass AD out there on the floor.
He might have to go too. I mean, his time might be up.
At this point, if they was like, we'll give you AD for Colin Sexton, and I was a Cleveland GM, I'd say, and what else?
Right.
And what picks? Because AD, I'm not giving Colin Sexton up for broke down ass AD. Unless you're sweetening the deal some way. But yeah, no, I mean that would make sense if he passed the ball. But he doesn't pass the ball, so I don't see that working out. But I do see the Lakers making a dumb move like that because I feel like they could get them both on the cheap. You know what I mean? Like Colin, reasonably cheap. Kevin Love, a lot cheaper because he's out of contract next year. So they don't. Lakers don't have to take on that idiotic contract that Cleveland did when LeBron asked them to.
Right.
Now you can give Kevin Love a vet minimum and say, bruh, you've only played 13 games in 4 seasons.
That's all he's worth.
You get paid $2.5 for the year. If you don't like it, you can leave the NBA. Right. Nobody else wants him.
Man, Kevin Love has played out.
And he's a decent player, and I don't know, maybe he's pulling an Ezekiel Elliott where he's like, I'm not playing for this fuck-ass team risking injury. I'll just be injured until my contract's up.
He could be. I mean, he might just be really unhappy.
He doesn't strike me as a dumb dude.
No, I think he might just be unhappy with his role. Remember, he threw the basketball. Didn't he like throw the basketball one time or 2 times this past? He kept the ball one time, threw the basketball another. I think he's just unhappy. I think that's what it comes down to.
I mean, that definitely could be.
He's not, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I know you. We touching on the mock draft. We holding off on that right now.
Yeah, that's the last thing we'll touch on, and then we'll wrap it up. I know we touched on it last week when you wasn't there. I did see two specific changes in the top 5. Cade Cunningham, of course, going number 1.
Right.
Guard forward out of Oklahoma State. That's Detroit all day. If Detroit doesn't take that pick, hit the showers every episode of all next season. I will say that.
Right.
Change. And I don't see this as being true. And I gave my reasoning behind this last week. They moved Jalen Green up from 3rd pick going to Cleveland to 2nd pick going to Houston.
Let's see that.
The only reason why I don't think that makes sense is because Houston traded away Clint Capella to Atlanta. So they need a center. They need a good center threat to replace him to actually, hold shit down in the paint. They don't have that currently. On top of that, Jalen Green is Kevin Porter Jr. They're the same exact player. Why would you get two shooting guards that play the same way and put them on the same team if you don't have a big man to cover the ends of everybody else?
Right.
So I still see Evan Mobley out of USC going number 2 to Houston. I could be wrong, but I don't think that it'll be Jalen Green unless they feel like they're going to offload Kevin Porter Jr. Unless they feel like Kevin's not working in Houston either, we'll just get the same player over again and let him go.
Right.
Because he was bad in Cleveland, he's bad here, we're done with him.
Right.
That's the only way I could see Houston taking Jalen is if you see Kevin Porter Jr. released from Houston in the next 60 days after that draft. Then they said Evan Mobley to Cleveland won't happen. I don't see that happening because we already have
Jared Allen.
Right, we already have Jared Allen, right? So why would we go with another center to make him feel like we don't want or appreciate him when there are a lot more holes in our game? One being the shooting guard position, especially if you plan on trading Colin Sexton. Because we know Darius Garland's running a point. We're getting sick of running this undersized 2 guard that only scores. Let's go with the Jalen Suggs. You feel me? That's a point guard that's oversized that can be moved to the 2. And then you and Darius handle that. We can trade Colin for Kevin Love if that's the truth. Get a Kuzma to put in at a small forward position. And now we're looking at a overall team. And not one of those players can complain about being in a small market.
Right.
Maybe Kuzma if he's still fucking with... Oh, no, he's not fucking with Kylie.
Kuzma was never messing with Kylie.
Kendall.
He was. I think he was talking to Kendall. Yeah,
he's fucking with one of them.
That girl we talked about with you.
Right.
With Whitney Harlow. Whitney Harlow. With the,
But yeah.
Devin Booker's fucking with Kendall though, so we'll see how he play out in the finals.
Right. Well, listen, he
may be cursed.
I don't know. He may be he's mixed, so the white side may be protecting him from the devil side of the Kardashian to where he like, I can cook.
Freaking holy.
Right. I can cook. But then 5, we got to change. It was Jonathan Kuminga out of the G League with the Ignite with Jalen Green. Now it's Scotty Barnes out of Florida State, small forward, going to Orlando, they say. 6 is going to Davion Mitchell out of Baylor, going to OKC.
What's your source spot? Like, where do you get
this is
your
the NBCSports.com mock draft.
Okay, because I was just curious because Bleacher Report did one, of course, and they updated theirs, I believe, like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. So that's why I was curious to see. It's obviously similar.
What you have in your first top 5?
They've got it. Cade Cunningham, like you said, number 1. Number 2, Jalen Green. Number 3, Evan Mobley. Number 4, Jalen Suggs. Number 5, they got Jonathan Kuminga.
So that's how it was last week on. I don't think I wrote down the source on that one. I did not write down the source.
And of course, they're going to keep changing. Obviously, it's mock draft.
Right, of course. And that was after the combine scrimmages. The one that I read last week was before the combine scrimmages, and Jonathan Kuminga actually got injured in the combine scrimmage, which is why I think he dropped from 5 to 7.
Oh,
So
okay.
Bleacher Report may still be having him at 5, saying like the injury's not that serious, he'll be back. Where everybody else may be saying he got injured regardless, drop him down. Because then it's what I got, and I'll give my 6 through 10. You give me yours, then we'll
Okay.
wrap it up. I got Davian Mitchell out of Baylor, like I said. Then Jonathan Kuminga out of the G League with the Ignite going to the Golden State Warriors. But if the Golden State Warriors trade for Pascal Siakam, that pick would then go to Toronto, which I don't know. Yeah, I would still go with a Kuminga if I was Toronto, to be honest.
Mm.
I would still take that, especially because Pascal Siakam was a 4.
Yeah.
I guess a 4,
A
undersized
forward
5
slash
ish.
center. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Kuminga would be a 3, undersized 4 ish. You know what I mean? So you can't play him on the center, but it still wouldn't be a bad replacement, in my opinion.
Right.
You're getting a similar style player, hard nosed defensive player, can still shoot, will dunk on you as well. So watch out for him. So
Right.
I could see that going either way to Golden State or Toronto. 8, I got Keon Johnson out of Tennessee, dude with the 48-inch vertical. That goes to Orlando too. So Orlando got 5 and 8. Then they on NBC Sports they had Josh Giddey. He's out of Australia, so I have nothing. I know nothing about this guy, but he's a point guard. That pick goes to Sacramento Kings, and then 10 I had Moses Moody out of Arkansas, going to the New Orleans Pelicans. He's a small forward. I'm not familiar with him, but I have seen a little bit from him. I just don't know anything about his like all around game
Right.
to have an opinion about him. So I don't know about that. But everything else didn't sound
Too
off.
far off.
Yeah, to me. I still probably would have kept Kuminga at a 5'6", because he still walked off the court. You know what I mean? It wasn't a situation where he was like he needed carried off. So
Right.
I'm assuming that he'll be good by the time draft and training camps come around. Wouldn't drop him down to 7. But what was your 6 through 10? And we'll hit the showers and wrap it up because I'm about to piss on myself.
Right. So number 6, Scotty Barnes. Number 7, James Bouknight from Connecticut. They got number 8. They have via the Bulls, Davion Mitchell. Number 9, they got Sacramento Kings, Kai Jones from Texas. Number 10, they have New Orleans getting Keon Johnson from Tennessee.
So wait, you said 8 to the Bulls?
Yeah, it's maybe I read it wrong. It says so it's the I guess what they're saying is the Bulls must have
traded
lost that to the or traded it. Yeah, it says Orlando Magic, but it says via Bulls.
Oh, by way the Bulls. Okay, yes, that makes sense. Because I was wondering why Orlando had 2 top 10 picks. The only way they would have gotten that is by way of a trade. So that makes perfect sense. And I'm sorry, who'd you say was that?
Davion Mitchell from Baylor.
Oh, okay. So they got him going 8 instead of 6. That makes more sense to me, though, honestly.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then, but that doesn't make sense to me that you would get him to the Bulls because you got Kobe White. And if you're developing him, what the fuck do you need Davion Mitchell for?
Man, he built like a damn football player. You better take what you can get. Them boys is balling on Baylor.
Who, Davion Mitchell? Not Davion Mitchell. He was the undersized guard that was shooting.
Well, I don't remember what
not
game.
Not undersized, but...
Well, we talked about it a while back when the championship and stuff was going on, or whatever the playoffs.
That was the power forward. What was his name?
No, I mean when you first seen the whole team on Baylor for the most part. Like
they got a little size, a little stocky. But I'm saying regardless, like if you already got Kobe White, what do you need another point guard for? And if you put him at the shooting guard spot, he would be undersized at like 6'2".
Right.
So what's the point of getting a Davion Mitchell if you're the Bulls? I just don't see that.
He may grow. You know, these kids is young. You know what I mean? He may still take off.
Definitely, but no, if I'm not mistaken, he's a 2 or 3 year player. He was a junior, I believe.
Yeah, I think he.
I don't think he's growing too much.
But probably
if
not.
You're a junior and you're still only 6'2", maybe we get an inch out of you.
Well, didn't KD grow more once he got into the league? Or didn't he shoot up like more than he was? Like, he was already tall, obviously, but didn't he shoot up when he got to the league?
I know somebody did. Yeah. I know you are right about somebody. That might be KD. KD makes the most sense because he was still coming out of high school, though.
No, he played for Texas. Oh, you
said KD. I'm sorry.
Kevin Durant. He played for Texas for a year.
I'm thinking of KG. Yeah, but even still, that's different than your junior year. You know what I mean? Right.
That's true.
I don't see you. Yeah, that makes sense. You come out your sophomore year, you grow a couple more inches, but your junior year, bruh, they do say dudes don't stop growing till about 25, so it's still a shot, but I wouldn't risk him growing more inches to give him to the Bulls.
Or for you, it was the age of 10.
Yeah, I was about done. 14, 15.
It's like, that's it. That's all, folks.
Listen. But, yeah, I don't know the Josh Giddey dude. I'm going to have to do my research on him.
Me too. Yeah, I'm going to check him out and see what they got.
Out of Australia. He's a point guard, too. For them to even think about giving him top 10, he must be something.
Right.
But we will wrap it up before I choose to piss in this mug or one of these bottles.
We're on a futon. That's the insider for clipping on.
Or on listen. What's the hit the showers? Give me a hit the showers, and then tomorrow is Suns Bucks again. I want hit the showers, and then I want Chris Paul stat line.
Mike the showers gonna go to Giannis and the Bucks for last night's performance. That was absolutely terrible to set the tone in game 1. Chris Paul stat line for tomorrow. I'm gonna give Chris Paul, let's say I'll give him 24 points. We'll go with 8 assists. And I give him 3 steals.
No rebounds.
Man, his little ass ain't about to jump up there and out jump Giannis and them, Brook Lopez and them. All
right. Well, I'm going to say my hit the showers is going to go to whoever lobbied for that Ben Simmons, CJ McCollum trade. Fucking foolish. I don't even know what the fuck fucking foolish. I wish I had a name to put on it. For Chris Paul's stat line, I'm going 29, 3, and 7.
29. So 29 points.
3 rebounds, 7
assists.
Yeah.
No steals?
No steals.
Okay.
29, 3, and 7.
How many fouls?
How many fouls? Oh, you know I ain't counting all that. I don't know nothing about that. Donovan said, gotta go early, but his hit the showers is Michael Jordan. I wish I knew why, Don, but shit.
We'll have to catch that inside scoop.
Right, we'll catch him next time. But what you got, Malk? You got anything to take us out?
Let's go USA in the Olympics. I want to see what this basketball team is going to look like.
I know that's fucking right. Go USA.
Go USA.
Oh, that.
Also F USA for kicking Sha'Carri out completely.
Man, also F USA. They said if Donald Trump was in office, he'd have said weed's now legal. I'm signing an executive order. Sha'Carri's good. She's still running.
Well,
running for the great country of USA.
Right, man.
Listen, but to all my shower heads out there, as always, be good or be good at it. We will catch you next time on Saturday.
Yeah, much love, everybody.
Much love.
Go good luck, Cavs next year.
Man, ain't no good luck. We don't need your fucking luck, chump. You out this bitch.